Hello and welcome to the Summer Iowa Games Preview Show. I'm Rod Botholt. Today we'll get you ready for one of our state's biggest athletic competitions and tell you how you can get involved. We'll be joined by former Iowa Hawkeye and NFL quarterback Chuck Long, who is now CEO and Executive Director of the Iowa Sports Foundation, and he will give us a preview of the 2016 Summer Iowa Games. This year, the Games will celebrate 30 years of the Summer Iowa Games. In 1987, the Iowa Sports Foundation hosted this event for the first time with 7,000 athletes taking part in 16 sports. In 2016, the Iowa Games is proud to offer more than 60 sports for athletes of all ages and all abilities. It's become a summertime tradition in our state and one that all Iowans can be proud of. When we return, we'll learn more about the Summer Iowa Games. Stay with us.
Here's the plan. You grow up wanting to be a lawyer because your dad's a lawyer, and you land a job with a 401k and meet your wife. You're surprised at how much you both want kids, and equally surprised you can't have them. So together, you adopt a little boy, and then his two brothers. And you up your life insurance because 4 people depend on you now. Then one weekend when everyone has a cold and you spent the whole day watching TV, you realize you didn't plan for any of this, but you wouldn't have done it any other way.
With the right financial partner, progress is possible.
What should you do if you have slow internet?
Mom, come on!
No, stop using Netflix. Give up gaming.
So slow.
Buy the insurance plan. Do all your work
Night, Steve.
at the office. Lock up your Wi-Fi password and kick the kids out. Or simply call Mediacom and get faster internet that's FCC proven to outperform DSL. Get speeds up to 15 meg for less than $10 a month for a year, plus your first month free. Call 888-SIMPLIFY.
And welcome back to our Summer Iowa Games Preview Show. We are now joined by the CEO and Executive Director of the Iowa Sports Foundation, Chuck Long. And Chuck, I know you and your team have been busy putting together another competitive and very busy schedule for this summer. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, very busy schedule, Rod. And you said at the outset how much has grown over 30 years. We had one weekend 30 years ago. Now we have 3 weekends in July, 3 main weekends. In addition to, we have events in the months of May, June, and August. But our 3 main weekends are in July, and our first weekend will be July 9th and 10th, followed by the main weekend, July 14th through the 17th, and our third weekend, July 22 to 24. And events are held in Ames, Des Moines, and the surrounding communities. So it's grown quite a bit from 30 years ago.
Well, Chuck, one of the reasons the Iowa Games continues to grow is that you not only have those regular sports that are traditional that a lot of people come and participate in, but there's always something new that is trying to attract new participants. What's new on your agenda this year?
Well, Rod, 30 years ago we had 7,000 athletes and only 16 sports. Now we're going to reach 14,000 athletes with over 60 sports. Our largest team sport is soccer. Our largest individual sports are bowling and track and field. New sports this year include high school team bowling, USSSA baseball, Hoover ball, lacrosse, spike ball, and sports skydiving. So we have a wide variety for everybody.
So we'll have some new looks, so new sports to get highlights of from my standpoint in terms of going out and getting video. I want to give you a look right now at some highlights from the Iowa Games. It'll give you a feel for what the competition is all about, and we'll be back right after this.
Yes, Bobby!
If If you've ever seen a full list of all the events that happen throughout the 3 weekends of the Iowa Games, you might find yourself wondering how in the world they keep everything organized. Well, right now we're joined by Iowa Sports Foundation Chief Operating Officer Kevin Bourke to tell us a little bit about that. Kevin, you have your hands in that organizing thing all summer long. Tell us about how this event all comes together.
Well, it's really a year-long process. We've been doing it now for 30 years. This is our 30th year. So we're kind of have a system in place. We've got a great team of our staff members, but we hire a number of interns that we have for the summer that really become staff members. But really we rely on our volunteers. The volunteers, without them, we couldn't do it. It'll take more than 2,000 volunteers to put this event on for the summer games. So they're just key for us. The Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau helps us a lot in recruiting those volunteers, and they have since day one. So we've got a pretty good system in place, but again, without those volunteers, we couldn't do it.
That middle weekend of the Iowa Games is really kind of like a blur, I'm sure, for you especially. Talk about the number of venues that you use and how that all comes together.
Yeah, on our main weekend of the games, we'll have more than 30 venues that we'll be using in Ames, on Iowa State's campus, community schools, and we'll also have about 20 venues or 20 communities that are hosting events throughout the state as well. So it is primarily an Ames, Iowa State event, but we do have events all over. We've got venues on Iowa State's campus that will host upwards of 7 events over the course of the weekend. The Lead Rec Center will host table tennis, racquetball, judo, taekwondo, basketball, shooting, 3-on-3 basketball. So just a number of events in just one venue right across the street. We'll have pickleball, badminton, tennis as well. So there's just a lot happening in just a small area, which is really what makes the Iowa Games unique. We have just a lot of things happening and neat sports that people don't normally get a chance to see. If you're playing soccer, you can see archery happening right across the street.
You're an old pro at this. This is your 19th year, I believe, at the Summer Iowa Games. What do you enjoy most about doing what you do?
Well, there's a lot of things, Rod. We've got just a great staff, and as I mentioned, the volunteers are so crucial to this. And when we get to the Iowa Games, the summer games, and it actually happens, just seeing everything come together, and with those volunteers, it's almost like a reunion in some ways. We get a chance to see them sometimes only once a year at the Iowa Games. And you know, our sport commissioners, they are kind of the key to running all of our sports. They're the expert in their sport, and just to see everything come together, and it's really rewarding when you see kids walking away with a smile on their face and medals around their neck.
Well, Kevin, the athletes are not only competing for that the competition in the Iowa Games, but also hopefully to earn spots in the State Games of America. Talk a little bit about that competition and how that process works.
Right. The Iowa Games is a member of the National Congress of State Games, and every other year on the odd years is State Games of America. And medalists from the Iowa Games Winter Games and Summer Games qualify for State Games of America. So we're excited that Iowans have an opportunity to advance from the Iowa Games to State Games of America. It'll be held in Grand Rapids, Michigan in 2017.
So then, so you're not only competing for the competition you're in now, but maybe shooting for bigger things too.
That's correct.
Very good. Well, Kevin, thanks for taking a few minutes to tell us all about it. Good luck with everything that goes on in your world for the Iowa Games this summer.
Thank you, Rod.
Stay with us on the Iowa Games preview show. When we come back, we'll visit with State Games of America medalist David Ertl.
This is Iowa, and here we don't just dream, we make history by nearly doubling our clean energy as part of our 100% renewable vision. With this, our energy costs will remain some of the lowest in the nation. We'll create new jobs and boost economic growth. Our air will be cleaner, our state stronger, and together we'll advance this country's energy future forever. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Ryan uses his health insurance every day after work. Because Wellmark plans come with Blue 365, so members get exclusive discounts on things like fitness trackers, athletic shoes, and LASIK. It's just one of the ways Wellmark members get more. Beth uses her health insurance every day at 6 a.m. Because Wellmark plans come with Blue 365, so members get exclusive discounts on things like gym memberships, hearing aids, and cookbooks. It's just one of the ways Wellmark members get more.
Welcome back. We're joined now by David Ertl, the Iowa Games commissioner and participant who qualified for the 2015 State Games of America in the 2014 Iowa Games. In December of 2014, David then found out that he had a blocked coronary artery, and after having a heart procedure in December, he was still able to compete and medal in the 2015 State Games of America, in addition to competing in the 2015 Iowa Games. David, first off, thank you for joining us, and pretty amazing story. Tell us a little bit about the competition, both at the Iowa Games and the State Games of America.
Well, going back to 2014, that was a qualifying year for the State Games, which I wanted to attend because they're right next door in Lincoln. Mm-hmm. And I did compete and qualified. I believe I got second in my age group in 2014. Although I was having some difficulties that year, I thought it was a breathing issue at first, and continued to train and race throughout the season and push through it. But turns out I had a 90% blockage in my coronary artery. And so pretty amazing I was actually able to compete.
So how were you able to overcome that condition and make that all work for you?
Well, in December of 2014, I had to have a stent put in to open up the blockage, and obviously had to go through the cardiac rehab procedure, which you can imagine was pretty frustrating for me because I had been very fit going into this procedure, and then having to back off and control my activity level for a couple months was tough. But then I got the all clear and started training again for 2015.
So what was that recovery process like in terms of building back up the stamina, being able to do it?
Well, it was a setback, of course, but once I got the all clear in about March, then I just started working my way back into shape, and it came back quite quickly, and actually had newfound level of fitness, given that my heart now had blood for a change. So.
Well, there's always, you hear people who have to go through a recovery process talk about overcoming that fear. What was that like? Do you have any moments of caution where you were scared of things, or what was that like?
Well, one concern, of course, was that it would limit my physical activity going forward, and that turned out not to be the case. But of course, there's still the overarching fear that it could occur again.
Explain that time frame. What's the turnaround time like between the two competitions? Is that a challenge for you?
Well, the Iowa Games, I believe, was in July, and then the National Games in Lincoln were in first weekend in August, so it wasn't too bad of a turnaround. What was more challenging, actually, was I participated in the National Senior Games up in Minneapolis in between, and that was 3 days of intense racing. So quite a bit of racing in a couple of week period.
So you've got a really unique history with the Iowa Games. Is there a moment that sticks out to you that's more memorable than others?
Yeah, I have a lot of good memories of the various races I've done at Iowa Games, including the criterium, time trial, road race, and mountain biking. Probably the best memory, though, was in 2013 when I finally won a gold medal after 20 years of trying. I've got a lot of silver medals, but 2013 marked the first year I got.
Well, congratulations again on all you've accomplished, and good luck with this year's Iowa Games. And we are joined again by Chuck Long. And Chuck, we've talked a lot about all the different sporting events that you have and how Kevin and his crew keep things organized. One of the keys to that right out of the chute is getting people signed up in an organized fashion. How do you recommend people go about that?
Well, our main registration process is through our website, www.iowagames.org. Participants can find sport information, entry fees, deadlines, and online registration. That's the best way to go. Participants can also call the Iowa Games at 1-888-777-8881.
So get signed up and be a part of the Summer Iowa Games. Coming up next on the Iowa Games Preview Show, we'll take a look at the busiest weekend of the Games, featuring the opening ceremony and the Athlete Jamboree. Stay with us.
go to Iowa State so I can study human diseases and how to make people healthier. Maybe I'll try photojournalism. Whatever my adventure becomes, it sounds awesome.
Enjoy your adventure at Iowa State. Visit chooseyouradventure.net.
Honda knows that efficiency has its advantages. That's why the Honda CR-V can help you get places using less fuel. Gives you a better view of your surroundings. And helps you stay in touch while you're on the road. The CR-V, from KBB.com's best value brand. Nothing compares to a Honda. Visit your Central Iowa Honda dealer and test drive a Honda today.
And welcome back to our Summer Iowa Games preview show. There are many events that happen, special events during the Summer Iowa Games, and Kim Abels joins us now, and she kind of coordinates all of that. Kim, I know you always have lots of great plans for the Jamboree and the opening ceremonies. What's on tap for this year?
Sure, yeah. Well, we're very excited for our Athlete Jamboree this year. We are celebrating our 30th anniversary this year, so we're celebrating the 80s during our Athlete Jamboree. So
I remember them.
Yes. So on Friday, July 15th, in parking lot S6 and S7 on Iowa State's campus, from 5 to 7:30 p.m., the Athlete Jamboree will take place, and we have anywhere from inflatable games for the kids to local and national talent. Our big national talent act this year is the Sky Riders. They're out of New York. They're an acrobatic trampoline act. We also have the Iowa Food and Family Project. They're a gold sponsor of the Iowa Games, and they get all the Iowa commodity groups involved, and they set up some fun activity booths and have a variety of prizes. We will also have some local Ames food trucks for concessions, as well as other vendors and activities. We have a sports zone going on with some unique sports such as Hoover ball and spike ball, as well as, face painters and the photo booth. So it's a fun activity. It is free for athletes and community members, so we encourage everybody to come out and help celebrate the 30th year for the Iowa Games at the Athlete Jamboree.
When you run down that list of all that's going on, it just sort of reminds me that there's something for everybody. Is that what makes this event unique, is that there's, no matter your age or what your interests are, there's probably something there for you?
Yeah, we really want to stress that it's open to the community as well as our athletes. And the Athlete Jamboree is just the first thing that kicks off the evening on Friday, July 15th. So what makes kind of the Iowa Games unique is that we are an Olympic-style sports festival, and so we provide our athletes and our coaches our opening ceremony, which is also on Friday, July 15th. So we take everything then inside Jack Trice Stadium, starting at 7:45 p.m. and we start out with the traditional, with the parade of athletes. We have the singing of the national anthem, skydivers. We have a keynote speaker, as well as our lighting of our cauldron, the athlete's oath, and then fireworks to conclude the evening.
Well, Kim, thanks for all the information. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. Good luck with all you do with the Jamboree and the opening ceremonies at the Iowa Games.
Thanks, Rod.
All right, take care. When we return, we will speak more with Chuck Long, the CEO and Executive Director. He'll remind us one more time how to get involved with the Iowa Games. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm John Walters. Ames is the home of the Cyclones and so much more.
welcome back to our Iowa Games preview show, joined again by Chuck Long to remind us one more time how people can get involved.
Well, registering is easy on our website for the Iowa Games. www.iowagames.org is the best way to go. Participants can find sport information, entry fees, deadlines, and online registration. Participants can also call the Iowa Games at 1-888-777-8881.
Breakfast sandwich is delicious because you build it the way you want it.
My Robert L. Hartford, please.
The Robert L. Hartford. Egg whites, cheese, fresh spinach, and tomatoes.
Nicely done. But today I think I'll try it with jalapenos.
Okay, but now that sandwich is a Tim Bain.
Who's Tim Bain?
I'm Tim Bain, and this little Tim Bain.
You know what? I'm gonna stick to the Robert L. Hartford.
With countless delicious breakfast sandwich combinations, get the one with your name on it. The Subway Sandwich Shop. Fresh is what we do.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Did I remember to lock the front door?
Yep, front door locked.
Nice.
When synced to your home automation system, Pella Instinctive window and door sensors let you monitor your home from your smartphone.
Dad!
Garage
closed.
New Pella window and door sensors powered by Instinctive technology. Because at Pella, we don't make windows for houses, we make windows for people.
Well, the Summer Iowa Games is certainly a great example of an event that would not be possible without volunteers, and lots of them. Chuck Long joins us again. And Chuck, I know how important the volunteers are to your process. Tell people how they can get involved and be part of the games.
Well, very important, Rod, to our process. The Summer Iowa Games has approximately 3,000 volunteers, and they range from sports commissioners to generic volunteers to officials and referees. We are very fortunate to have the Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau that recruits many of our volunteers.
So encourage all of you to find a way to be a part of the Iowa Games this summer. Stay with us. We'll take our final time out on the Iowa Games preview show, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up.
Here's the plan. You want a family and a career, but most of the time you feel like you're trying to wrangle a hurricane. The rest of the time, they're asleep. Then one day, HR schedules a meeting with you out of the blue, and it's the worst 19 minutes of your career. But you don't sweat it, because you and your advisor have prepared for this. And when the best offer means you're moving to the middle of nowhere, the boys say they hate the idea, but you pretend it's not so bad. And years later at Thanksgiving, when one of them says what he's thankful for most is this house, you realize you didn't plan for any of this, but you wouldn't have done it any other way.
With the right financial partner, progress is possible.
I think it's all right.
What?
No, it's not so bad.
Does this look infected to you?
Oh! Oh, why? Oh, stop.
Welcome back to the Iowa Games Preview Show. As we wrap things up, just one more reminder that the games are coming soon and will offer sports for all ages and all abilities. To get involved and be an athlete or even a volunteer this summer, visit iowagames.org for more information about the 30th annual Summer Iowa Games.